Hi everybody, it's Jenny and I'm here with Natalie and we are ready for block 2
of the Piecemaker Block of the month.
Of the Piecemaker Block of the month. And I've been watching, you guys are finishing your first block and they look so good.
So exciting.
Yeah, it's so exciting. So if that one did have a lot of pieces and a lot of parts and a lot of things to do.
But that was the spools of thread, right?
It was the spools
And
of thread,
so cute.
the handle, the needle, and they look so great.
They're so
and
fun.
I feel like when you finish those, you feel really accomplished.
Yeah.
Yeah, so anyway, this month, just take a breath.
Let's open it up.
Just take a breath because this month, you're going to love.
It's a little easier.
It's a little bit easier. All right, here's our little packet.
These cute little zippered pouches that you can reuse.
We've got our pattern keeper over here. Here's our block of the month.
All right, let's see our
This is month 2.
Our destructions.
Our destructions, I love it. And here's our little layer cakes.
Oh.
And we're going to do our cutting.
Should we quick press those?
I suppose I could run quick and press those really fast. You look at this and you talk to them about what they're going to do. And
Well,
go.
Okay, so we are going to take fabrics A, B, E, and F.
Let's get our color chart out.
Yep, we're going to need our color chart, but there is actually a fabric key right here in the front of the pattern. So
perfect.
If you can tell what fabric is what from that, you don't have to pull that out every time.
I did
Okay,
kind of.
so this is A. This is B, these two. E is your yellow dot.
This month we're making the X's and O block,
And F.
just the X, and the heart block.
So as we're going through all these letters, it's really just all the print fabrics.
All the prints.
You're going to cut into 5-inch squares. And then these ones, you're mostly going to cut into 5-inch squares. And then we're going to have
some 2.5.
Some 2.5s.
I only know that because I looked at the picture.
Ooh.
I quilt by picture, you know.
Good. That is a good way to do it. It is. I mean,
well, it's
the
everybody's
picture
brain is different.
confirms what your brain thinks it's supposed to do.
Right.
You know, it's like you've got to have both.
All right, so this is the block we're working on right here.
I'm going to cut.
We're doing the yellow X's and the pink hearts, and we're going to make those. And these are super easy. So if you ever need a really quick quilt, this X block quilt, I put them right next to each other, and when you put the two X's together, the block in between forms an O, so I call it X's and O's. It makes a gorgeous quilt. That's usually my picnic quilt idea, is the X's and O's, because it's so fast.
Because it's hugs and kisses.
Right.
And it's so sweet. And honestly, I think it is a good use of fabric that you want to see, too. So if you have fabric that you love, it's great because it makes a cool design, but you get to see the print on the fabric.
So we're cutting all of our colored pieces into 5-inch squares.
Yep.
We have our good 5-inch ruler.
Yep.
We just lay it on the edge and it works.
And I'm sorry. I'm
That's all right.
Stick my elbow out a little bit just to get that angle.
And then we need to cut our background pieces.
Cut each background square in half vertically and horizontally. So all of them. Do you think I could do the whole stack at once?
I think so. We just put a new blade in here.
Oh, all right.
If you're having trouble with your rotary blade or it's not cutting well, put a new blade. Time to
sharp
change your blade.
That's easy.
Yeah?
No worries.
I don't even know how many layers are there.
We're not going to count.
You're
sorry.
good.
Oh.
I love that. I love that
Got
elbow.
to be a little bit careful. It's tried to twist on me there. Okay, so now we have 6 for half square triangles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Okay.
Set 6 aside.
Set these aside.
Then
They
we cut
actually go with the pink
11
blocks.
vertically and horizontally to yield 2.5-inch squares. I have a little string. There we go. All right, so I've got 1, 2, 3, 4.
Is there only 4 in that stack?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
5 in a stack.
So 5 and 4 is 9, 10, 11.
Ooh, quilt math.
Hey, she can add too.
She's pretty good at it.
Sort of. Okay, and then we just set these aside.
Yep.
For something else, right? All right, so I'm going to do...
I love how they say, save any remaining 5-inch squares you have for potential miscuts. Potential makes it sound like it's coming.
We have potential for a miscut all the time.
We do, but it just makes me feel like it's like They're like expecting us to make a miscut.
And they may be. I think they are experienced enough to know that everybody
happens.
makes a mistake once in a while. And that's okay. We like you just the way you are.
Just the way we are. I'm working so hard over here.
Yay.
I'm the encourager today.
Listen, you have your sewing job. I have my cutting job. It's okay.
I am going to
We
be sewing.
just do different things.
That's right.
All right. So all of our cutting is ready to go. It does say divide up all these things, blah, 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 but we like to just keep our
Yeah.
2.5-inch squares in a stack.
Shall we turn the page?
I'm ready.
And see what's next?
I am ready.
We're ready to make our half square triangles with our pink block. So shall we go to the sewing
Awesome.
machine?
So I have a lot of diagonal lines to sew. But you can you're sewing right on the line.
Right.
And then if you want to, you're going to sew another line on the one side of that. So it's
That's not for this block. That's not for anything.
It's just to set aside for some
it's
other
just because we
fun
love
thing,
half
and
square triangles.
we need that
Right.
teeny tiny little block for
Right?
something.
Yeah, I'm not sewing on the other side of these lines, just the big ones. Just the big ones.
Right. So,
All right.
but to make the little half square triangles, right?
No, we're not making little half square triangles. These are the big ones for the heart.
Oh.
It's the bottom of the heart, right here.
Excellent. Okay, so
These
they
here.
are big. I
Yeah.
was thinking they were the little ones.
No,
I
these little ones. Now, you can save these if you want.
I had that confused in my head.
I will not be saving these.
Okay. Okay, so we're going to start by making our large half square triangles. We're going to draw a line and sew right on it.
All
and then,
is well. And we're heading to the
Okay.
sewing machine. We'll see you
All
over
right,
there.
see ya.
All right, so we're going to start with our heart blocks.
Yep.
And I have separated my colors into piles because we had them all
Awesome.
stacked.
We did
So-
forget to mark off our little box, but we did our cutting. So
Okay,
I'm just going to check
perfect.
those because I like making check marks.
All right, so then
So what you're going to do is you're going to separate, we're going to make the half square triangles, which is the bottom part of the hearts.
Okay.
And you don't want to do the same thing with the top. So
is
you
there a
only
color
need,
we're starting with?
yeah, you need 2 of fabric A,
Okay,
and the other 2 are going to be the tops.
2.
And then of your fabric B, which is the other
No, let's
pink.
just do the one. Let's just do one heart at a time.
Okay.
You're getting
you
way
sew,
ahead of me.
You sew, and I will draw lines.
Okay, so we are sewing on the line, correct?
Yes, on the line, and then if you want to save a half square triangle with the excess fabric, you can sew a 1/2 inch over.
Right. So I'm just going to sew on the line like this, and because I have to save that excess fabric, have being a real need, I'm going to come over 1/2 inch. I'm not even going to really measure, and I'm going to sew again on the other side, and then little Miss Presser can press can cut them and press them over there.
Ah, I do need to get myself a little cutting mat.
All right, here's this. And then those are the 2 tops, right?
Those are the bottoms of the heart.
At the bottoms of the heart.
Yep.
All right.
So
and
now
then
you can
these,
do
we
4
need
of those because
four.
you have more.
1,
Here's
2,
these.
3, 4. So how many hearts in total are we making?
We are making 3 hearts. So 1 of the dots and 2 of the, I don't know what they call that fabric. I can't remember.
It's geometric, I
The
think.
geometric.
Yes, and I'm just lining these up and sewing. And I'm going to show you a little trick now because we're sewing along, and we're just going to sew on the middle line of all of these.
Okay.
And right here. And we're going to do all 4.
I'm going to keep these in separate piles because we only want the big side for this project.
And then 1 more here. So you want 4 of the geometric, and I'm sewn on the line. Now because I want to save them, I'm going to whip these all around, and I'm going to sew a 1/2 inch on all of them to one side or the other. It doesn't matter which side because you're just going to cut one side off. But I'll do this all at once. And just like that, I've saved me some half square triangles. which I keep in a baggie with many other half square triangles that I'm going to do something with.
You are going to have the
someday.
best half square triangle scrap quilt. It's going to be amazing.
Someday.
Everybody will be jealous of you.
That's right. All right.
Beautiful scrappy quilt.
So don't worry about,
Those are
ironing
the
these or anything.
extras.
These are the extras we're cutting off, and these are the ones that
And
we
those
put the
should
square on.
square, or I mean, I don't know that you'll have to square them, but they should measure 5 inches.
Oh, okay, yes. So let's check. Yeah, we're good. So then because I've made a lot of hearts, can I just put these together like this? Or do we want to wait for the
Well,
tops?
the next section says to go ahead and make your tops.
Oh, okay.
And you're going to make the tops by taking the,
2.5-inch squares
yep,
and putting one on each top corner.
yes. Do you want a line sewn or a
I don't
crease
need-
pressed, or are you going to use your diagonal seam tape?
I'll use my diagonal seam tape.
Awesome.
And because these are 5 inches, I can actually lay them both on here at the same time, and I'm just going to sew here and then down here. So we're going to do one heart top, one sew.
Very
So I'm
good.
lining it up with my middle line on my diagonal seam tape. I'm coming over here, and I'm going to sew down the other side. Just like that, and then I got one more here. And going to do the same thing. And you can do them one at a time, whatever whatever works for you in your brain.
Yeah.
Sometimes our squares overlap and these don't, so I can do this pretty easily.
And I'm going to trim these off and press them back for you.
Perfect. Well, I'm going to go on to my geometrics
Okay.
and sew up this side. Oh, let me add my other square. And I should have 3 more of these. Let me get those apart. I'm going to put my little stack of 2.5s over here so I can grab them. They're handy for me.
Keep these together. If you're worried that you're losing a point here, don't worry about it, because the heart is supposed to have a little gap in between the 2 half square triangles at the top where it sort of looks like it curves over.
Yeah, it's just supposed to make it look kind of rounded like a heart top.
Yeah. So don't stress about that. There's no point to save at the top of the heart.
Nope, no points. This is a pointless heart.
No heart is pointless. They always have that point at the bottom.
All right,
You get there eventually, right?
You get there eventually. And my last one here.
I always feel like when we sew together, everything goes so quickly.
I know.
And then when I try to do the same thing by myself, it's like, why is this taking all day?
It is good to have a helper for sure. Somebody to iron, somebody to press, somebody to square.
That's a lot of helpers.
Well, you just have to teach one helper to do them all. And then you just sit and sew. That's what your dad does. He does all the things.
He always has.
Yeah.
All right, I've got the next page. Now, absolutely you can assemble.
Okay, so we're going to start assembling our heart, which means we're going to take these 2 pieces at the top and these 2 pieces on the bottom, and you want to set them together so that it looks like a heart. So it's color to color is how I remember this bottom part. And we're going to just sew 1/4 inch down there. And then we're going to sew the top. Now I could have sewn the top first and chain pieced it, but I didn't think of it. But I might do that on the other ones.
All right.
All right, so now what we're going to do, we've basically made a heart 4 patch, and we'll fold these up. You're going to match that center seam. And so we're just going to put this over here.
And I'll stack these for you.
There's that one. And I will move these down here, and I'm going to start with my top, and I'll do the top, and then a bottom, and a top, and a bottom. So then they're chain pieced together. Whoop, look at.
Oh, did I twist
We
them?
almost had a heart
Attack.
heart attack, heart catastrophe.
A heart.
So if I'm making a lot of one block, I will actually stack all my blocks up and
I was going to say,
just
I
do 2 and
actually
2.
love that hack. I feel like it's saved me so much time lately.
Because you don't have to reinvent it every time you sew it.
Yeah.
There's this one. All right. Now I'm just going to cut my thread in between the 2 hearts, because when I open these, they should make that perfect
That
little
lovely
heart.
little chain piecing hack.
Yep. And I'm just going to go ahead and put these together and match my middle seam. So when I do that, what I do is I start, and I call it an anchoring stitch, and then I find this middle right here. And one seam goes one direction, the other seam goes the other, so that they're nesting. They're like this, and that little seam nests in the middle, and you can feel it. You don't want to feel any air in between, or any fabric in between. You just want to feel that seam just butting up to each other.
Yeah.
So this one is the same. Start it, and then we're going to go to the middle seam and make sure that's nested up. And just like that, our hearts are done.
Awesome.
Now we are on to our X's and O's.
Yeah, or the kiss block.
I mean,
as
the
it's-
kiss block.
As it's called
Is
in
it
this
called the
pattern.
ki-
It's called kiss block.
Because the X is the kiss and the O is the hug. So for those of you who are younger and don't know this, when we used to write letters, when I would get a letter from my grandma, it would have, I love you, love grandma, XOXO on the bottom. And I can remember when I was little, I didn't know what that meant. And so I would try to make a word, and I was like, Mom, what does qua qua mean? You know, and,
Zozo.
and she was like, no, an X is a kiss and an O is a hug. And so then I would start watching, like, how many kisses did I get from my grandma? How many hugs did I get? Did I get more than my brother? You know, I mean, there
Nice.
was, you know,
A little bit of
lot involved.
competition.
Just a little bit, you know. So anyway, that's why I called it X's and O's. And this is the X block that we're doing right now. So what do
Yeah.
we do?
So now you're going to gather your fabric 5-inch squares and your 2.5-inch squares, and
Okay.
you're going to place them on the corners. And so corner to corner on opposite corners of your
Okay.
yellow blocks.
So we are going to put one here
Just snowballing corners.
and one here. And I think what I'll do probably is I will go through and snowball all one side of one block and not do,
And then flip
And then
them
flip
and do
it
the
and do
whole,
it.
the whole
Yeah.
set. So you need 8 of each. I'm going to
So-
go ahead and count and see if that's what you've got in the stack. I don't remember.
so I'm just going to grab
2,
these and put my corner on one side of all of them.
6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hang on. Yep, that's exactly what you have.
I'm
So-
ready, I'm ready.
So you're just going to do that to all of them.
So I have a few little squares here that have like a little fold on them.
I
Will
can
you,
press
will you
that.
press that out?
Yeah.
It's
That's
it's just making it kind of weird. You know, it's like I have
from
to from
the fold that
yeah.
it went in the packaging. There you go.
And I'm going to do.
Nice and flat.
I can't pick things up this morning. My fingers are not working so great. Oh, they'll get warmed up though. All right, here we go. Oh, 2. I can't even tell you how many times I've sewn 2 squares.
I've done that a few times.
Then you're just like, where is my other square? And then you're like,
Yes.
darn it. You have to go check them all. You can feel it right away. All right, so this is the side, the one side of all of these. And Natalie, what I'm going to let you do is I'm going to let you go ahead and trim and iron those back, and I'm going to start on the one side of all of these
Okay.
because we have to do them all, right?
We do.
Okay, just making sure. Now, do you measure the actual 1/4 inch when you trim them off?
I do mostly just because it's my habit,
Okay.
but you don't have to.
It just
mean-
has to be cut off, right?
Yeah.
Now, in theory, I could go along and sew along that outer edge of all of these and have tiny little half square triangles.
This is what I was confused about earlier.
Yes. She's
mean,
like,
it's
I know
not-
my mother. I know she.
It's not that big of a stretch to think that that's what we were going to suggest
Oh
doing.
gosh, no, yeah. No, because you know me well, and you know I'm not a waster.
Yeah.
And so
And the tiny triangles are the cutest.
they are so cute. There was a lady I met once who was teaching a class, and her quilt was called the trash quilt, and she literally saved all the tiny little pieces that people cut off, like when they put their binding
were in-
together or anything. And some of her half square triangles were so tiny, and I looked at that quilt and I was just like,
Wow.
wow, good for her. I'm probably never going to do that in my life. And then here I find I'm saving little half square triangles. All right, here's all of these. Hand me the ones that you've ironed, and I'll add those to the other side.
Okay.
And we'll just start. All right, so now directly across from where we put our first square, we're going to add the second one, and we're going to sew down that side.
And it doesn't matter which corners you do. There's no orientation. You just have to make sure they're opposite each other.
Right. And I'm using my diagonal seam tape here. Diagonal seam tape is a huge help for me. Saves me from drawing the lines. And especially if you're sewing on the line, it's very easy to use because you just line up your corner on the middle line and just watch it as it goes through to keep it nice and straight. Mine is all worn here because I use it so much, but
My favorite
I love
thing
it.
is the laser on my machine.
oh yeah, that works good
I
too.
like that better than any other trick.
Yeah, I don't have a laser in my machine. My machine is a commercial straight stitch only.
Yeah.
And so I don't have that laser, but
I wish
know you
all
like it.
machines came with a laser.
Yeah.
That's my dream for, my hope for the future.
there's this.
Do you want to just take these and
Sure.
sew because I haven't had a chance to press them yet?
I would be happy to.
And then you don't have to press them in between.
No.
You can stitch on both
You can
sides.
flip that row right around and sew the other side.
Yeah. All right, there's those.
Now, I would like you to look in the pattern and see how many of these little 2.5-inch squares we were supposed to cut, because we had a few of them left over,
There should be 32.
and my pile is getting very low.
Well, I think that we counted them exactly.
Well, I have, maybe.
No, you're good.
Oh, I'm very close. Yes, I
You
only
have
need
exactly the right amount.
3. I do. Oh, I was getting so nervous there. There's these I can send over to
I think
you.
you're used to having the extras
I do.
because
I generally,
we just cut a bunch in our typical process.
That is so true. All right, so I will help you cut some of these,
Yep. I'm falling a bit behind
except
over here.
you have my cutter, so I'll
I
let you cut
do.
these and I will iron these. How about that?
Okay, that's perfect.
All right, so we're just going to press these back like this. Oh, don't want to fold this one up. There we go. And then, am I too far ahead, or can I go ahead and show them
You
how to
can
put
go
one
ahead
together?
and put these together while I continue cutting.
Okay. It is good to have a cutter. It is
Yeah.
good. All right, So here's how we're going to put these together. When you do an X block, you always match color to color, white to white. So like this, color to color, white to white, or background to background. And then you're going to do the same up here, and it forms this X block that is so darling.
So cute.
And so quick. And we're just going to sew these together. Together, and we are just going to make a bunch of these. How many? 3?
I think there's 4. Let me check. 1, 2, 3.
It probably says in your pattern too.
Make 4.
Make 4.
That's right.
So we got 2 of these.
Make 2 of each yellow.
Now, I honestly, because they're 2.5-inch squares, I didn't worry too much about worrying if they lined up or not, because it doesn't actually show up very much. And so I didn't worry about it too much. You can feel it with your fingers because both your seams are going to run the same way. You can fold one back and nest them, but I just run mine the same way. And go here, and I do match my middle seam. Like that, and then this one I clipped, but I didn't need to, and I'm going to put those on top and line up my edges.
We're almost done.
All right, so there's those for you to iron.
All right.
And I'm going to put, whoops, see why I have that mantra? Color to color, white to white. Color to color, white to white.
Gotta keep
And
track.
then I'm just going to stack these on here so that I just have to pull from the pile, and I already know which direction they're going. This helps if you're angly challenged at all, like I am. This really helps. So I'm going to pull one from each pile. And honestly, they're exactly the same block. So if you're not angly challenged, you could just stack them up and start sewing. It wouldn't be any big deal. There's those 2 and these 2. And these 2 and those 2.
Those 2 are done.
I'm almost ready for you here. It's 2 more to go. And we will be done with month 2. And I'm glad we have an easy month this month because last month we worked really hard.
Yep. It's nice to have a little bit of a break, and probably things are hectic at home. Who knows?
It makes me wonder, what is happening on month 3?
Month 3. Just couldn't tell you.
We'll tell you next month.
We got to find out when we open our package, just like everybody else.
Yep. Okay, so this one is a little short. It's not going to match up exactly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold on to this top piece.
Yeah.
And let the feed dogs take in a little bit more fabric on the bottom,
Just
so
to
that
make a little
so that it will
kind of
match up a little bit. Yeah.
Awesome.
And then you can check that and see how close that came out.
All right.
If I have a mistake in my quilt, how does it look?
I think it looks great.
Okay.
I don't even think
You would never know?
I would never know. Yeah.
How will they know?
They won't.
They won't know. Nobody will know.
Nobody's gonna know.
So if I do make a mistake in a quilt, I'll throw it down on the floor, and if my eye goes to it 3 times, then I fix it. If I have to search to find the mistake, I don't even worry about it. But I'm not making quilts for perfection. I'm making quilts to be wrapped up in and loved.
For fun.
Looks like we are just about done with month 2. So
We
we've
are
made
done.
our hearts,
So we have 3
our
hearts and
X's.
4 kisses.
3 hearts and 4 kisses, and
And
we
that is
are
it.
done with month 2. So we'll see you next month for month 3. Happy sewing, everybody.
Bye.
Hi, everybody. It's Jenny from the Missouri Star Quilt Company. We hope you enjoyed watching this video. If you aren't already part of the Missouri Star Quilt Company family, Be sure to subscribe so you won't miss a thing. And if you click that bell, it'll notify you every time a new tutorial comes out. See you next Friday.